The Colorado Buffaloes will be taking on the Utah Utes this Saturday at 10:15 Eastern Standard Time. That's a little late for them East Coasters, but if you're a real Colorado Buffalo fan like people say they are, they'll stay up and watch it. Also, Coach Prime held a transfer portal scrimmage. That's something we got to talk about as well. For all the guys out there that he said that may be jumping in the transfer portal, he want to give them opportunity to get some tape so they can move on to their new destination if that's what they choose to do. I'll go ahead and start off with that and say, very interesting. It's been called innovative so far as having this transfer portal scrimmage. It's been called cutting edge. Well, I'll say this, that's what Coach Prime wants to do, then he'll do it. I'm not sure how this necessarily helps the players from the transfer portal perspective, right? Because people in the transfer portal are not looking for third and fourth string guys. I hate to say that. So if you're a third string guy that's not playing, fourth string guy that's not playing, and you go in the transfer portal, you may not be making a lateral move. You may be going down, maybe going to a G5 to a D2, and that's okay as well. But again, I don't know what this transfer portal scrimmage does for the players. I don't know how it helps. But Coach Prime had it. He wants to be, it's all about the limelight, and it's all about the atmosphere and the cameras and all of that stuff, and that's what he's done. Again, if I'm a third string guy and I had a chance to look at a little bit of footage here prior to this, okay, I get it. Hopefully it helps. Hopefully some of these guys get picked up. But right now on a 3-4 team right now, if you're not playing on a 3-4 program right now, what's the odds of you being picked up in the transfer portal to play for another team? I don't know. I don't know. And I'll say this, maybe everything doesn't need to be televised, right? The revolution will not be televised, and maybe it does. I have no clue. But what I do know is that you put a light on a bunch of gentlemen that may be or maybe not be in the transfer portal. So now if they're in there playing in that scrimmage, they may not have been ones wanting to go in the transfer portal. But now they've been tagged as guys that want to transfer. Maybe that's Coach Prime's way of saying, I don't want you here anymore, right? If you were deemed to be put into that game, maybe that's his way of indirectly saying it's time for you to part ways from the Colorado Buffaloes. I don't know. I don't know the reason or the rhyme or reason behind it, but it did happen. Outside Sports says, hey, those third string guys on other teams are starters on Colorado, and they like that. Yeah, I guess. I guess outsider. I don't know. I would love to hear your thoughts about it. Put it in the chat. Call in as well. We can open up the phone lines here in a second. Matter of fact, we'll build it because we can build up the queue right now. You're more than welcome to call on in 862-799-9956. Find it right here. Please feel free to call in right here, 862-799-9956. Let me go back to Colorado and now their opponent. They're playing the Utah Utes at Utah. And I will say Colorado came off a huge win against Iowa State, not last week because they were on a bye week, but the week prior to, the number 22 ranked Iowa State at the time, beat them 24-17. Can they build off of that? And the last show I did prior to this, and I'm actually going to make this a pregame show because I'll actually be in Miami for the Stanford game, and I won't have an opportunity to do a pregame show for Colorado nor a postgame. So I may do the postgame show on Sunday for Colorado. But what I will say is they needed the bye week for recovery. But I don't know if they needed a bye week for momentum. And that's a real question. They had very good momentum coming off this Iowa State. They played a TCU prior to that, 35-21. And sometimes bye weeks can play funny games. Bye weeks can either give you opportunity to heal and regroup, or sometimes they can put like a monkey wrench in what you're doing because it kills the momentum. So it'll be very interesting to see how Colorado comes out and plays against Utah, who is, I believe, they're 5-2 if I'm not mistaken. I believe Utah is, yes, they are 5-2. And the only 2 losses is to BYU, which Colorado lost to, and a number 17 ranked Texas Tech. So they lost to a 17 ranked Texas Tech and a 15 ranked BYU. So the 2 losses that they have were to, highly ranked opponents, and Utah is not even ranked. So it'll be very interesting to see how this comes out. Caden Salter has been the man in the middle in regards to media conversations about the Colorado Buffaloes. How is he going to play? Is he going to play where he throws the ball around and make good plays? Is he going to throw interceptions? Is he going to hold on to the ball? Is he going to run? Is he not going to run? This team right now, in my opinion, is consistently inconsistent. And I think that's one of the major problems. Will they run the ball? Will they not run the ball? Can they run the ball? Are they allowed to run the ball? It just takes me back to that conversation they had, and I don't know if it was a press conference or preseason. I think it was a press conference where he said, "What's the identity?" And I think that's something that Colorado's missing right now. What is the identity of the team? If anybody likes to put it in the chat, please let me know. What is their identity? And don't be funny. Be for real. If they have one, if you feel like they have one, then say so. If you don't think so, then just say they don't have one. Because right now, when you watch a Colorado game, there's so many moving pieces and there's so many different things that's like you can't wrap your head around what's going on. There was the quarterback controversy early. Then they're going to run the ball. Then they don't run the ball. Then they throw the ball all over the yard. Then Caden Salter runs the ball. It's just it's a lot of hit and miss right now. And so I'll be very interested to see how they finish out these last what do they have, 5 games left? 5 games. It'll be very interesting to find out these last 5 games that they have going forward. After they play Utah, they play Arizona. A lot of people had Arizona not being that good. I don't think they're a very good team, but I think they can contend with Colorado. West Virginia is just god-awful. This should definitely be a win for Colorado. Arizona State, ooh-wee, ranked number 24. And Arizona State coming in, shout out to Coach Dillingham, they actually beat a Texas Tech that was ranked number 7th at the time, right? They were top, and they got beat by Arizona State. Excuse me. And Arizona State put up 42 points against Utah, 42-10. So, I'm sorry, they lost to Utah, 42-10. But I think Arizona State definitely takes that W as well. Now, they finish off with Kansas State. I don't know what Kansas State is. They're kind of all over the place as well. But they're going to play at Kansas State. We'll see how that happens. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But they got a tough sled ahead of them, I have to be honest. And I don't know if they'll walk out of this thing bowl eligible or not. Hopefully they will. Miss Peggy get a chance to go to another bowl game, and that'll be great for her. So